Hey YouTube, what's going on? Snowflakey's Emos here today with another deck profile. Today I am bringing Battlin Boxers. Battlin Boxers is a fun XZs based deck of Fire Warriors that make rank 4 XZs. There's a lot of Battlin Boxer XZs and they have a lot of battle phase centric effects, and it's just a pretty interesting deck. Came out around the time of the Dragon Rulers. Now I've always had these cards on me. I got them from a friend's collection, and when they announced the new Battlin Boxer stuff in Soul Burning Volcano, I decided to go in Yugioh Pro, test it out, and I had a lot of fun playing it, so I just decided to pick it up and add it to my rotation of decks. It's a very fun deck to have for a casual play group. Certainly not a competitive archetype, but it is pretty fun. With that said, let's get into the cards. First, starting off with our monsters, I am playing 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Promoter. This is one of the new cards that Battlin Boxers got in the Soul Burning Volcano set. Now, this is a level 4 warrior, of course, as are most Battling Boxers, Fire Warriors. 1700 attack. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is nice if you have to go second with this deck. And you contribute this card to special summon up to 2 Battlin Boxer monsters with different names from each other, from your deck, except Battlin Boxer Promoter, of course. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard to increase or decrease the level of all Battlin Boxer monsters you control by 1. That's pretty notable because there are rank 5 and rank 3 Battlin Boxers that were always kind of hard to make, so this card helps you do that for sure. Now you can only use each effect of this card once per turn, and also when you use this effect to special summon monsters, you can't special summon any other monsters other than Battlin Boxer monsters, which is something, you know, you'll get locked into, but that's fine. There's a lot of Battlin Boxer monsters, and this deck has that in mind. So that's 3 of Promoter. Very nice card. Just gets you a free XZ and get you a lot of guys out of the deck to get more cards. One of the guys we're always going to be pulling off of Promoter is, of course, the Battlin Boxer Uppercutter, also one of the new Battlin Boxers. He's got 1600 attack. If this card is normal or special summon, you can either add a Battlin Boxer monster or one counter trap from the deck to your hand, which is nice. A lot of those synergize with this deck. Except Battlin Boxer Uppercutter. And of course, if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can activate one of these effects. Either special summon a Battlin Boxer monster from your graveyard, except Uppercutter, or you can set a counter trap from your graveyard to your field, which is pretty nice. Now you can only use one effect of Uppercutter per turn, so you can't use the summon search and the detach effect. But that's nice. It sets it up in a rotation where on your turn you're going to summon him out, get his search effect. Then on your opponent's turn, you're going to use some of your other effects to, send him to the graveyard by card effect, and that will trigger his effect to special summon a Battlin Boxer or whatnot. What's nice about this one is it works really well with special summoning out good old Battlin Boxer King Dempsey, one of the new XZs from the graveyard, which is pretty nice because you can get his effect when it's summoned that way. So lots of cool things you can do with this card. Very glad to have 3 of it. Next up, I'm playing 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Chief Second. So Chief Second is the last of our new main deck monsters that came out in Soul Burning Volcano. Chief Second here is a pretty cool card, level 4 Fire Warrior, mostly in here for this effect. During your main phase, you can normal summon a Battlin Boxer monster in addition to your normal summoner set. So an extra normal summon just helps you go a little bit further into maybe making 1 more XZs. And of course, it does have another effect. When an opponent's monster declares an attack while you control a warrior or fire monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, negate the attack and then banish 1 monster on the field until the end phase. So, you can use this as a little battle trap to stop the battle phase, make it so you don't get OTK'd, give yourself a turn to set up, because you can negate the attack of a monster and banish a different monster, so you can blank quite a few attacks with this card. And it's just pretty nice. But the extra normal summon means it's great to pull off of Promoter, because then you can just normal summon another guy from your hand. Next up for monsters, I am playing 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Sparer. So now we're getting to the old Battlin Boxers that existed before Soul Burning Volcano. Sparer is a pretty cool one. It's a level 4 Fire Warrior. It says if you control a Battlin Boxer monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if you do, you cannot use your battle phase this turn. So this is a card we're definitely looking for our turn 1 play here. What's nice about Spar is it's not a hard once per turn on special summoning them. So if you have multiple Spars and you can special summon them because you control a Battlin Boxer, you can summon multiple Spars. And if you're doing it on your first turn, you don't even mind that you're not getting your battle phase. So just a great card to just run max copies of, because if we see it, it's just an extender right out of the hand. Very awesome. Next up, I'm playing 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Switch Hitter. Love this guy. Definitely still great in this deck. This is a really good guy to use your extra normal summon on with second Chief here, because when this card is normal summoned, you can target a Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. You cannot special summon any monsters during the turn you activate this card except Battlin Boxer monsters. So it has that same lock that Promoter does, but usually you're always going for Promoter anyway, so you're going to already be in the lock. So Battlin Boxer Switch Hitter just gets another guy out, which is pretty awesome, and just makes it a 1-card XZs. So sweet. Next, I'm playing 1 copy of Battlin Boxer Glassjaw. Glassjaw is a 2000 attack, level 4 Fire Warrior, so that's a nice attack to summon. When this card is targeted for an attack, you can destroy this card. Oof, that doesn't sound good, but wait. When this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, which would include its first effect, you can target 1 Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard except Battlin Boxer Glassjaw, and you can add that target to your hand. So that's pretty nice. This is a great card to recycle anything we want to get back to our hand. Do we want Promoter so that we can summon it and summon 2 more out of the deck next turn? That's pretty awesome. Do we want Switch Hitter so we can use Switch Hitter, normal summon Switch Hitter, pull Glassjaw back out of the grave, get a little resource recursion going there. So just plenty of options, whichever Battlin Boxer you're looking for. Glassjaw can get it, and because of cards like Switch Hitter, we can recur it, even if it's at 1 copy. So we're okay with that. And of course, Promoter can pull it out of the deck when we want to see it. Next up, I'm playing 1 copy of Battlin Boxer Shadow. Really cool card. During your main phase, you can detach an XZ material from a Battlin Boxer XZ monster you control, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. So that's pretty nice. 1800 attack makes it one of the stronger main deck monsters for the attack, which is nice. You can extend into another body if you can OTK with it. And of course, you can just detach a material to get this guy on the field. A lot of Battlin Boxer monsters don't necessarily need their materials or have ways of adding materials. So, you know, very perfectly expendable to get rid of a couple materials. And not bad. Good card. And last for the monsters, I'm playing 1 copy of Battlin Boxer Headgeared. Headgeared is a pretty interesting card. It's only got 1000 attack. When this card is normal summon, though, you can send a Battlin Boxer monster from your hand, from your deck to the grave. And then once per turn, if this face-up attack position monster would be destroyed by battle, it is not. So it's a pretty cool card. This one, you can just use your normal summon and set up any Battlin Boxer in the grave. You can send Glassjaw to the grave and add a Battlin Boxer from your graveyard to your hand. You know, you can get Switch Hitter. Anybody that you want to pull out of the grave with your Switch Hitter is viable. So just a nice little option to have to do so. Makes it worthy of running as a one of. And that is it for the monsters. Next, going into our spell cards, I am playing 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Spirits. Battlin Boxer Spirits is a spell card that says send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Then you can target a Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard and special summon that target in face-up defense position. You can only activate Battlin Boxer Spirits once per turn. So just a nice little archetype spell that summons any of our Battlin Boxers out. That's pretty nice. Doesn't negate their effects either, so we can summon out something like Promoter from our grave and then use his effect to pull out 2 from the deck. Now, of course, we are playing hard once per turn card here, so I would say one of these is probably best swapped out for Monster Reborn, which I don't currently have in the build, but, you know, Monster Reborn just does the same thing, except more flexible, except sometimes sending that top card of your deck to the graveyard is really good, especially if it just gets you a Battlin Boxer in your grave. You know, nothing wrong with that, so cool card to play. Next, I'm also playing 2 copies of XYZ Import. Pretty cool card for this deck that is very XZ's focused. Target an XZ's monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to it, and then attach that opponent's monster to your monster as material. So that's a pretty good way to get rid of a monster on the field and give your cards even more materials so that you can use their effects even more, and it's pretty cool. You can only use this card once per turn, but quick play spell, you can use it on your turn, you can flip it on your opponent's turn, disrupt them. Pretty awesome. And last up, I am playing 3 Pot of Extravagance. Yes, this is a very extra deck heavy focused deck, but in this build I've gone all out on the Battlin Boxer XZs, expecting myself to be Battlin Boxer locked most of the time. So I just max all at 3 copies, and I don't have to worry about Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Extravagance, of course, banishes 6 random extra deck cards to draw 2, so it gives us a +1 for banishing 6 random extra deck cards. Maxing out all our Battlin Boxer XZs monsters means we're very likely to still have what we need. And getting that extra card is really important in a deck like this that generates some advantage but doesn't generate a ton of advantage, and especially as we're about to see a deck that needs a lot of trap cards because they don't have the fastest monster mash engine, so you got to use some trap cards to help power up your end board. And that is it for the spells. Next, going into our trap cards, I am playing 2 copies of Battlin Boxer Cross Counter. This is the new counter trap that came out in Soul Burning Volcano. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can destroy a Battlin Boxer or number XZ's monster you control, and if you do, negate the activation and destroy that monster. Then you can do the following: special summon a Battlin Boxer XZ monster from your extra deck with a different name than the monster you destroyed for this card's effect, and then you can attach this card to it as a material. So this is a great card. We can search it with Dempsey, we can search it with Uppercutter, and it gives us a monster negate. Now we do have to destroy our Battlin Boxer, but that's okay. It will float into a different Battlin Boxer, and namely, this is a great way to bring out Yugioh, because we'll summon Yugioh, attach this card to it, then Yugioh, when your Battlin Boxer would be destroyed, can detach a material instead of being destroyed, so it has a material still to be destroyed, and then it gains 800 attack, which is nice. Also works pretty well with Nova Kaiser, because it's just a guy that when it's removed can special summon out other Battlin Boxers. So overall, it's a pretty great card, and of course we can recycle this card, so we can constantly loop it back and basically make sure we have a monster effect negate every turn. I am playing 2 because if your opponent has a way to get rid of it, I still want to see another one, so we'll just search the other one at that time. Second, I'm playing 1 copy of Jolt Counter. This is the old Battlin Boxer counter trap. Not as good, but still interesting enough that I run it at 1 copy. During the battle phase, when a spell trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a Battlin Boxer monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Since it can do monster effects during the battle phase, which is something you'll see a decent amount, I figure it's a good enough card in some matchups. Not as good as Cross Counter, but it's just nice. Negate an effect during the battle phase. You don't have to destroy a monster. Searchable card, recyclable. Pretty sweet. Next up, I am playing 3 copies of Gozen Match. There it is. Wouldn't be a Snowflarky profile without a nasty floodgate, and Battlin Boxers can play certainly a nasty one. Gozen Match makes it so that each player can only control one attribute of monster on the field at a time. Now all the Battlin Boxers are fire monsters, so even the XZs, so we don't have to worry too much there. We're not going to get interfered. And this card will just stop some matchups that need multiple attributes on board. Makes it a pretty powerful card. No reason not to run it. Like I said, we don't have enough monster engine, so we need some powerful trap backup, and this is a very powerful trap card that will put in a lot of work. Next up, I'm also playing 2 copies of Rivalry of the Warlords. It's like Gozen Match, except for type. Each player can only control 1 type of monster on the field at a time. And again, all our Battlin Boxer monsters are warrior monsters, XZs included. So we are not hindered by it, and certain other decks will be hindered by it. And if that's the case, they're going to have a hard time. So, just a card to slow things down a bit, and, Battlin Boxers is a slower strategy, so once things are slowed down, it will certainly take off. Now, in order to protect our board and our floodgates, I'm of course playing the 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. Insanely powerful that this card's at 3. We just pay half our life points to negate a summon or a spell or trap card activation and destroy that card. Very good. You just save it for when your, what you've got set up is going to get outed, and you'll be all good. Just flip the Solemn Judgment, take care of it. Next up, I am playing 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute works excellently in a Battlin Boxer deck because of our XZ's monster Lead Yoke. It allows Battlin Boxer monsters to be protected from being destroyed by battle or card effects by detaching a material. Um, and of course, that just means that we'll have a monster after we nuke our opponent's board. And a lot of the other Battlin' Boxers, once they have used their effects, are kind of spent. We don't mind. And there's a lot of recursion in this deck. So yeah, just disrupt an opponent's play. You know, wait till they summon a monster or two, get rid of them. We'll still have Battlin' Boxer Lead Yoke. Lead Yoke will up his attack. Overall, just a really good card that Battlin' Boxers can use. Always love decks that I can play Torrential Tribute because it just always does so much work. And last for the main deck, I am playing 2 copies of Heavy Storm Duster. Heavy Storm Duster is a trap that just says it can target up to 2 spells or traps on the field and destroy it. Very nice. I play this deck because, you know, when I'm playing casually with the duel group, there's a lot more back row and spell and trap card using decks because, you know, we play a lot of slower decks in that environment. And Heavy Storm Duster just gives us a plus to eliminate spell and traps, allows us to deal with other back row, other floodgates that might hurt us, and we don't want to deal with that. So Heavy Storm Duster is just a good card to have a 2 of. If you don't see anybody in your group playing spell or traps or back row removal, you can of course sub this out for any other trap, another rivalry, solemn strike, whatever you're looking for. And that is it for the main deck. Going into our extra deck, I am playing 3 copies of Battlin Boxer King Dempsey. This is one of the new rank 4 XZs that we just got from Soul Burning Volcano. Requires 2 level 4 monsters if this card is special summoned. Important, not XZ summoned. Like I said, this is a good card to bring back off of Uppercutter's effect. But if this card is special summoned, you can add a level 4 or lower Fire Warrior monster or a Battlin Boxing spell or trap card from the deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Then it has the quick effect that you can detach a material from a monster you control. So that's any monster, not just this card, which is pretty important for activating things like Uppercutter and, of course, Glassjaw. And because you know they'll be sent to the graveyard by card effect and get their effects. But anyway, when you detach a material, your opponent cannot target Battlin Boxer monsters you control with their card effects this turn. So that's pretty good. Make sure Battlin Boxer monsters untargetable. We're gonna have a lot of Battlin Boxers, so making them untargetable makes them quite more annoying to deal with for your opponent. So it's just a good card. Further extends your plays, gives your monsters untargetability, and of course, once you've kind of spent his effect, this is a good guy to tribute off for your Battlin Boxing counter trap card, and just float him into our next XZs, which we are playing 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Lead Yoke. So Lead Yoke was the original old boss monster of Battlin Boxers. It's a rank 4 Fire Warrior that needs 2 level 4 Battlin Boxer monsters. It's got 2200 attack. But this card just says if a Battlin Boxer monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can detach an XZ material from this card instead of destroying one of those monsters. When an XZ material is detached from this card, it gains 800 attack. So this is nice, protects your Battlin Boxer monsters from being destroyed, and if you're keeping Lead Yoke alive, you can of course make this card gain attack. So the first time it detaches, it'll go up to 3,000. Then when it detaches again, it'll go up to 3,800. And what's nice about Lead Yoke is that protection is not a hard once per turn, so multiple Lead Yokes can be protecting multiple targets, and then of course that will beef them up to higher stats, so just makes it a really good card. This is definitely the card you usually want to summon off of your cross counter trap. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Battlin Boxer Nova Kaiser. This is kind of a forgotten Battlin Boxer XZ, but I'm finding a lot of use out of it on this deck just to add to the end of another board. So it requires 2 level 4 monsters. Once per turn, you can attach a Battlin Boxer monster from your hand or graveyard to this card as an XZ's material, and this card gains 100 attack for each XZ's material attached to this card. So it has 2300 attack, it'll have 25 when you XZ summon it because it'll already have 2 materials, and any other materials you attach to it, give it an additional 100 attack, which makes it really nice. Now, of course, the best part about attaching guys from your graveyard is that you can do things like pull out Uppercutter and Glassjaw from your graveyard, attach them to this guy so that they'll be attached to him, and then you have a good target for Dempsey to, say, detach a card from. And of course, as he gains more attack, that means he has higher attack, which means you can hit more targets with XZ's import. And if all that wasn't good enough, last effect, if this card is destroyed by your opponent's card by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target level 4 or lower Battlin Boxer monsters in your graveyard up to the number of XZ's materials this card had attached to it and special summon those. So if your opponent's able to out this card or out your board, and this guy's part of your board that they out, you're just going to special summon a bunch of Battlin Boxer monsters, and if you're summoning things like Uppercutter and stuff like that, you can be getting search effects or just get you a lot of cards that your opponent has to then hit through / give you materials for your next follow-up turn. So yeah, I'm finding Nova Kaiser pretty cool as a just card to throw on the board once I've set up Dempsey, maybe the General Kaiser, lead yoke. Definitely find times where I want to go into this card. Next up, I'm playing 3 copies of Battlin Boxer General Kaiser. This is one of the new XZs from Soulburning Volcano. It requires 3 level 5 monsters. It is a rank 5 XZs, so this is where you want to use Battlin Boxer Promoter to banish him from the grave and boost your Battlin Boxers to level 5. So it's pretty cool. It gains 200 attack for each material that is on this card. So it's got 2600 naturally. It'll be at 32 if you get him the 3 materials as normal. Now, of course, he has the quick effect. When your opponent would special summon a monster, you can detach 2 materials from this, and if you do, you negate the summon and destroy the monster. So that's pretty nice. Works really nice with XZ's import too, because he has 3 materials on, which means he can use this effect once, but if you can XZ's import a material onto him, then he has a second quick effect, negation effect. Now he also does have another effect if you rank up a Nova Kaiser and basically have Nova Kaiser under this guy, which is something I don't do in this build, but it is something you can look into. If you have Nova Kaiser under him, when he attacks a monster, essentially, he can snatch it and attach it to him, which is pretty cool. So just a nice little card to add to your end board to add a special summon negation to it, which can be pretty powerful. And of course, he can get pretty powerful himself. Pretty cool card. For the last XZ's monsters, I am playing 2 copies of Heroic Champion Gandiva. This is an interesting card that this deck can make because we are warrior-type monsters. Now, it is an Earth, so we can't do it with Gozen Match. But for 2 level 4 warrior-type monsters, once per turn, when a level 4 or lower monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, you can detach a material from this to destroy that special summon monster. So just a nice little disruption tool for our opponent's special summoning a low level monster. We can destroy that monster so they don't have it as material to link or extra deck summon with, and can just be a little disruptive, so it's a nice card. But in reality, the last card is the real card that if I had 2 more copies of it, I'd be playing, and that is Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder. Of course, it's an XZ's deck. If we attack with our XZs, we can then throw Divine Arsenal AA Zeus on top of an XZ's. And it has the ability that, a quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card to send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. So that's pretty nice. And it's pretty cool. It can gain other materials too when cards would be destroyed by battle. I mean, you can attach it to this instead. And just makes a great card. If you have a Nova Kaiser with 2 materials on it, and then you've entered battle phase, you can throw Zeus on your General Kaiser, and General Kaiser will then have, 4, AA Zeus will have 4 materials under it to really go off. You can use its effect twice. Also a good use for the regular Nova Kaiser when you just attach guys. So if I had 3 Zeus, I would definitely be playing it. Detach 2 materials from it. Quick effect to wipe your opponent's whole field is just incredibly powerful disruptive tool. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you know how strong Divine Arsenal AA Zeus is. So run as many of these as you can so that you have 1 left after you play Pot of Extravagance. So that is, of course, it for my Battlin Boxer deck profile. Like I said, it's a very fun deck. You can summon a lot of guys and go into a lot of XZs pretty consistently, and I like that they build their own in-archetype board. That's something I really like when it comes to XZs, monsters. So just a really fun deck to have and pick up and play in a casual group. The floodgates make it really strong against some good contenders, but other than that, it's strictly a casual deck. But I enjoy playing it. I hope you do too. Let me know what you think. I'd love to know what you're playing from Soul Burning Volcano. If you're playing Battlin Boxers, are you doing the rank up thing? If so, I want to know how you do it because I'm going to start looking into it. Anyway, thank you for checking out the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.